Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today it's week 7 rankings talk. Go over some of our ranks for the week. You know what? I think they're kind of switching up a little bit. I just noticed this week it feels like we're finally to the point where preseason rank means literally nothing to us at all. These players are all over the board now, so we'll go over that in just a minute. But before we do that, make sure you guys go follow us on Twitter at the FF Prophet, or follow us on Instagram at fantasyfootballprophet. You can go check out the website, fantasyfootballprophet.com. We're on YouTube. We got more videos out there than just the regular podcast, so check that out. It's youtube.com/fantasyfootballprophet, and we're on Patreon as well. It's patreon.com/fantasyfootballprophet. You can support the show for as little as just $1. $1 a month supports us. So go check that out if you guys feel, want to. And also, hey, review the podcast. That's always a nice thing. Go on iTunes. 5-star review helps us out too. But rankings. Week 7. We're already now halfway through the regular season, basically at this point. And is Patrick Mahomes number 1 for you this week?
Yep.
Yeah, he's nothing he did against New England would make me not rank him number 1 this week. So he's that good. He really is, right? There's no Rodgers this week. So that's, part of it. Otherwise, Rodgers is pretty much my number 1 every week. But yeah, I think it's Patrick Mahomes now. He's been that good. I don't see that going away. He has so many weapons, it's just ridiculous. It can't be stopped.
He's played wonderfully, and what I like about him too is even though he's just a first-year starter, second-year guy, he hasn't been shaken by any defense they threw at him. Even Jacksonville, he still did okay. Obviously 2 interceptions, no touchdown, but New England, talk about the bounce-back game, and just showed why he is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looked terrific.
And mistakes really don't affect him. For what I've seen, he might throw a pick, he doesn't care. He's still going to try to throw the ball in there next time. He might make a mistake or two doing that, but you're not going to be able to get as many touchdowns as he'll throw if you just played it safe. So Mahomes, number 1. Now this is where it gets interesting after that. I had a hard time with these ranks this week. I really did. Just wasn't sure. I was just not sure where to put people. After this, I did go, like I say, second and third. I went Matt Ryan, Tom Brady. It's my 2 and 3. And I felt okay with that. But it's right. It's like that point for me where I just said, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, me too. The guys that I like to have up there kind of week in, week out don't necessarily have the best matchups. And, Breeze would be in that conversation as well. Breeze and Brady, really. Chicago and Baltimore, 2 very good defenses. Obviously, Chicago kind of got shredded last week by Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, Tom Brady is definitely capable of doing that. But, I have, Matt Ryan number 2, Goff number 3, Newton number 4. Strange. I know it feels that way. Now in my head, I have to say, if I really did have those guys, would I play them over Tom Brady? And that's where the question really comes in.
That's the problem.
Because Goff has an unbelievable matchup, right? But he did just come off of a poor performance that cost me a win against you. So
I don't even know how poor it was for him necessarily. It's just they just realized we can run the ball all day.
Mm-hmm.
And Gurley ran the ball 28 times, which he normally doesn't do that. I don't see that happening 2 weeks in a row, though. They don't want to run Gurley into the ground like that. That's not what they're looking to do. Exactly.
I think they're trying to save him for when they actually need him. They don't need him against San Francisco. He'll get a lot of touches. He'll do well anyway. But, especially now that they're a week off of that concussion protocol as well. Because let's be honest, yes, Cook and Kupp were playing, but at the same time, you're probably trying to protect your banged up players a little bit if you can. And I think that's kind of the game flow that happened.
Yeah, I think that has to be more of what it was. So
where do you have Goff?
I have him 4th.
Okay, so we both have him very high.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in it. San Francisco, they I guess overall played well against Green Bay in a way, but their pass defense just wasn't there when it mattered most. And I think they won't have Cooper Kupp, but Cooks and Woods are just going to be able to run all day run all over these guys out there and catch everything. It's not going to be a problem. So it should be a big game for Goff. I really do. Then I really think so. Cam Newton was my 5th. So there's a lot of players that I like that I don't necessarily like their matchups. So, like you said, Breeze. Breeze came in 7th for me, which is actually higher than consensus, I believe. The consensus had him lower than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm scared of too. I have him 9th.
You know what? This could be a run the ball with Ingram and Kamara type game, and he doesn't do much. It's happened in the past. Happened just a couple weeks ago. So it very well could happen again.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I did rank him in the top 10, but I think if anyone can break down Baltimore, it would be Breeze, because I think not only do you have Michael Thomas, who is very good, but I think this is the perfect game where he is the perfect weapon against a defense that can definitely stop the run and can, lock down a top wide receiver. But him running through the middle of the field, I think he's going to have a heavy game plan because he's just an insanely tough matchup.
So what about Jameis after his good week, his first start?
I mean, they're going to throw the ball a lot. They can't run the ball. They're going to keep throwing it, so he's going to keep showing up. I have him number 10.
Okay. I actually have him 8th.
Dude, I want to see another game out of him. I think he'll do fine, but it's hard to, I'm trying to think of the guy who's over him. I'm guessing I have Andy Dalton ahead of him. Do you?
I have Dalton 10, so he's just 2 below him, yep.
And then who is the other one? Maybe Wentz or someone?
You probably have Wentz ahead of him. I have Wentz 9th.
Okay, I have Wentz 7th, Dalton 8th.
So there's actually some very interesting streaming options this week. I think this is a week where if some of these players are out there, they're good matchups, which, okay, Andy Dalton's one of them, playing against Kansas City, who hasn't been able to really stop the pass at all. Baker Mayfield going against Tampa. Mitch Trubisky going against the Patriots. It's probably pretty decent as well. And then even Flacco against New Orleans. Yeah. There's 4 relatively good streaming options this week. So you know where you rank Dalton, but what about Mayfield, Trubisky, Flacco, which they might be higher this week than you might normally see them?
They're 14, 15, 16 for me.
So they're well for me.
I was going to say, they're right in a row. Yeah. Who do you have on top of that? Because
I have Baker top because I think Tampa's the worst of the defenses.
I do too. And I actually have Trubisky ranked 3rd because he's been on such a hot streak, but he's really young. He's going against New England, who made, even Mahomes throw 2 interceptions. So what are they going to do to him? That was kind of my thinking. Mm-hmm. Flacco, I don't want to put him up that high, but, New Orleans hasn't been very good against the pass, obviously. And, he's just okay.
And then, Eli Manning should be one of those streaming options this week, but I can't believe in him. But I did put him in my top 20 at number 18 this week for me. He did rank ahead of Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson worried me a bit. And okay, Jacksonville did just give up 40 points. I shouldn't be so worried, but I just don't see that happening. I think that was a fluke. That won't happen again. So Deshaun Watson dropped to 19 for me, and I wouldn't play him this week. I really wouldn't. I'd find one of these other streaming options to play him over him. That's really how much he worries me actually about right now. So
yeah, he might climb my ranks, but I was trying. He does. He has a terrible matchup, and right now he's 17th for me. But if I'm being completely honest, I should actually move him up. I would still probably start him over. I would start him over Flacco and Trubisky for sure. The Mayfield one does mess with me because Tampa has been so poor against the pass, and Jacksonville's so good. So actually, he's going to come in at 15th for me.
Okay. How about running backs? We'll move over there. I got Gurley's number 1. It's just Gurley's number 1 for me all the time. It's basically like the Aaron Rodgers thing. I will always put Aaron Rodgers number 1. I will always put Todd Gurley number 1, and I don't even think about it. He's that good. Same for you?
Yeah. Don't mess with perfection.
Right? So after that, where probably Barkley number 2. I put him number 2. It's just a good matchup. So
correct, yeah.
And he's been great.
Yeah.
The guy's amazing.
Last week I had Gordon above him. It really, between those two, it's matchup. Barkley has a better one this week.
And then here's where it gets interesting, but there's a lot of good players. It's just, how do we rank them this week?
Right.
So I actually put Zeke 3 and Gordon 4. It's just, they're interchangeable. You can put whoever, wherever, really. They're both great players. My number 5, I put Alvin Kamara number 5, which he is lower than that in consensus ranks, but I think Alvin Kamara is kind of matchup proof if they use him in the right way. It doesn't matter who he's playing against, he's going to be great. Now, how are they going to use him? That's the issue here. I tend to believe it's going to be back to what it's been before, and there's no worries. Another week like we saw 2 weeks ago, and yeah, might change my mind a little bit, but my mind's not changed yet.
Yeah, I have him at number 6. So a lot of these other guys obviously have better matchups, but Hunt has been playing very, very well also. And Cincinnati, which scares me a little bit, but I'm just, Kamara is still going against Baltimore, but I think he'll actually be used more than Ingram this time around because I think he's a better fit for what they're going to be doing, as I mentioned kind of earlier in the podcast.
Okay, what about Ingram? Where'd you put Ingram? That's actually an interesting one.
I have him at 16th.
Okay, I have him 13 right now. So
yeah, I put him down a little bit lower because I think his skill set is exactly what Baltimore has been so good at stopping. So I did kind of throw him down a little bit lower than I usually would.
Yeah, he's...
But, at the same time...
I don't know. We have only seen one game of the two playing together this year, so it's just... Yeah, this is a little bit more we need to see.
Yeah, it would be nice. But we did see it all last year.
Yep.
You kind of know what they're going to use them for.
I'll say the rest of my top 10. So I had, I went Gurley, Barkley, Zeke, Gordon, Kamara. Then I went Joe Mixon 6, Kareem Hunt 7, David Johnson is 8. It should be a good matchup against Denver the way they've been playing D. They haven't been too good. Christian McCaffrey came in 9th for me, and then Sony Michel's top 10. Sony Michel is just, they're using him that well. Chicago should be a tougher matchup, but then again, they just gave up 100 yards to Frank Gore. So what are they?
Yeah, very true. I think my top 10 is relatively the same, except I do have Hyde coming at number 10, and Sony Michel is just outside of it. Once again, it's at Chicago, and I actually do have White ahead of Sony Michel just this time because I saw what Albert Wilson was able to do.
I dropped White to 17.
What? Really?
I don't believe in the guy. Back to that.
I was going to say, at some point you got to believe in him.
Last week there was nothing special. There was nothing good last week.
Yeah, they used him fine. Sony Michel, it was just who do they need more of?
They need to use Sony Michel going forward.
Yeah, Chicago, they're good up front. That's what I think. I think that they'll pass, much like I think the Saints will use, Kamara in the passing role. Completely team. I think Sony Michel moving forward is definitely the play. I think this is just a unique situation.
So, are you starting to give up on Jordan Howard? Slightly.
Yeah, I am. I traded him in one league, but I like the guy, but he's going to be up and down. And the very bitter truth about it is Tariq Cohen keeps cutting into it. And for their offense and what they're trying to do, he's a better fit. So there will be games where Howard will be used and he will have some that he scores 20 fantasy points and you're like, oh, he's back. But it's very difficult to predict. And right now, I think there's other RB3s, RB2, back-end RB2s that I would much rather have. So Jordan Howard is starting to slip down my list.
Yeah, he is for me. Chicago seems to play their best when it's Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, it gives Trubisky more
They
options.
really do. That seems to be their best offense. And yeah, I know Tariq Cohen can't have a full workload, like running the ball actually, but they don't need to play it like that, and they might not. So Cohen's starting to inch up for me a little bit. I mean, he's 24th this week, which actually puts him as a very back end running back too.
Well, I guess I am giving up on Howard more than I thought because I have Cohen up at 19th.
Okay, so yeah, you're really buying into that.
I am. I wasn't a Cohen believer, but the more and more I see him, I can't deny it.
The offense is better with him right now. Yeah. It just has been. So I think we got to make that adjustment. And yeah, it's he's a good player. He's fun to watch. It's just I don't know how many touches he can actually handle with being at the size he is. So I guess we'll start to see. Chicago needs to use him. The rest of this, a lot of ugly situations. I don't know what to think about. Alex Collins, I say he's still my top 20. Can't get away from the guy. I think maybe I'll be not all the way right on Alex Collins just because of usage. He's going to be there. And it's hard to not have a guy ranked as a running back too when he's going to get touchdown looks.
Yeah.
It's just what he's going to do.
As soon as they turned to him instead of Buck Allen, every Collins owner had to just be the Lord.
That's what he needed to become relevant, and it's happened. So I still maintain if Kenneth Dixon didn't get hurt, it would have been something more interesting. So I will Keep that. He's not good though. He's still not good.
Keep that in your back pocket.
He's still not good.
I know. Your hate runs very deep for Alex Collins.
So another guy who I'm just kind of to the point where I can't trust. Again, we've been this way, but Kenyon Drake, he's really dropped for me.
Yeah, where does he show up?
He's 31st for me.
Oh,
He's been, and again, no, it's going against Detroit. He's been poor, but I just think this is completely split. And so I did rank Drake ahead of Frank Gore yet, even though, because Frank Gore can't keep that up. There's no way. But I don't trust it. And Drake, I need to see a couple really good weeks from him before I would even put him or trust him to start in a lineup. You can easily see a 1-2 point week and just do nothing for you. They might just feel more comfortable with Gore. Yeah,
that fumble on the goal line did not help anything. Especially Gore is looking really good. Why wouldn't you use the older back that, he doesn't have too many years left anyway. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I still have him 27th. I haven't completely given up on him. But at the same time, it gets pretty shallow down there. And as soon as a few people start getting healthier, that whole thing will change because, who do you have down there? I mean, Ito Smith could start moving up. Obviously, we just got the terribly crushing news that Devontae Freeman, my number 2 pick,
on IR
in one of the Scott Fish Bowl. Man, I am taking it on the chin in the Scott Fish Bowl, man.
Yeah, that's not good.
I am 2-4 now, and yeah, I don't like doing this poorly. I'll be honest. And I pretty much lost my 2nd and 3rd round pick for the entire year. I lost Geis immediately.
Oh, you had Geis in that one too. Yeah,
and then right. Devontae Freeman has been out the entire year pretty much. So running on fumes and just can't catch a break, man.
Not good.
Anyway, enough of a pity party for Jeff. Where do you have Marlon Mack? That's a guy that's interesting me.
He is a little bit here. Let me see. I think I put him 27th this week. Let me pull up my right. Yep, 27th. Okay, because the really thing is Buffalo.
They've been good. Defensively.
Defensively, their offense is brutal.
Yeah.
But defensively, they haven't been terrible other than the first week where they gave up 40-something to Baltimore. Other than that, they've been okay. And so I don't know how it's going to be used, but I think so far Marlon Mack has shown already that he's probably the best back there. He's better than Jordan Wilkins.
Yeah,
we know that.
He came back and immediately he's going to be the guy that gets all of the touches.
Naheem Hines still is a different type of player.
Yeah.
So Marlon Mack, I think, it won't take much for me to move him up a little bit. He'll never probably break top 20 type, but he'll be one of those guys in the 20 to 25 range, at the very least. There's just a lot of those guys down there that they don't once it gets beyond it gets ugly quick for me. It's like 15 and I don't like it anymore.
Oh yeah. It goes downhill.
It might even
quick.
be before that.
Yeah, I think I hit about 20.
I don't even know because my 19 is Alex Collins, so I cannot say that I like
That's true.
anything beyond or ahead of that point.
Yeah. I'm okay with that, but yeah, I have a few down lower.
All right, how about some wide receivers? This is I'm very interested to see what you did wide receiver wise, and I think my number 1 is not going to be popular.
Okay, well
maybe
what is it?
Odell Beckham Jr.
No, okay. Number 1, I wouldn't put him there. But you know what? I don't hate it because you're going against Atlanta. Odell has been playing. This
is the bounce back,
right? Exactly, and that's what you're predicting.
Back. Yep.
I really do want to have the balls to say Eli is going to come out and play well.
Yep.
I can't do it.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to say.
He's a streamer, but like a low end streamer, and yeah, he has all the weapons. He very well could, go out and blow it up. Odell definitely could catch 2 long bombs, whatever it may be. They look so bad last week that there's no way I can put my. I think they'll quit again. They look.
They looked bad.
That team was terrible. Besides for Saquon,
this is just I don't usually do these kind of ranks. Go with the gut on one, but I did this time.
Yeah, who rounds out your top 5 then?
So my number 2 is AJ Green. Going against Kansas City. Number 3 is Julio because, he doesn't catch touchdowns, but the guy catches everything else. So he's great. Adam Thielen, 4, which he has to be here, I think, now. He's to the point where he's that good, and Tyreek Hill's 5 for me. So,
yeah, my
you can go
my top 5 is weird. Yeah. And because of this, no one has, matchups are all over the place. Yeah. I went with the tried and true, and maybe he won't score the most points, but Thielen's number one for me.
He's been that way so far.
He's the safest play.
He's been good.
And so I put Thielen number one. I have AJ Green number two, like you. Yeah. Tyreek at number three. And he's tough because I feel like he had an up week. Now he's going to have a down week.
He does that.
Yeah, but he'll do that to us. Too dangerous. Then I do have Beckham number 4. Julio number 5. If the guy just is not scoring touchdowns.
He will this week. Guarantee
Right,
it.
Exactly.
Guarantee he will. This is the week he scores. He will get one.
I like it. And then Michael Thomas going against Baltimore, DeAndre Hopkins going against Jacksonville. So they're 6 and 7 if you were wondering where they were.
Yep. Yeah, for me, they're 6 and 7, but it's Hopkins and Thomas. Then Keenan Allen 8, Mike Evans 9. Mike, come on, let's do something. I don't like last week.
Evans is back when Winston comes back. I love it. It's that. I don't because I like Evans, but
he needs to do something.
This is what happened to me last year. You throw your weight behind him this year, he starts off wonderfully.
Yeah.
And then Winston comes back and crushes your hopes.
And now number 10. No one else will have this guy number 10.
Who?
Kenny Galladay.
I like you're just all over the ballsy moves for wide receiver.
At wide receiver, at least.
Yeah.
Kenny Galladay, number 10. I love this guy. He's so good. This isn't Detroit Lions fan to me. Okay, maybe partially. Maybe it is partially, but I think Kenny Galladay's great. If you go watch our YouTube video. I will go over all my Kenny Galladay stats and why he's amazing.
Yeah, and that will actually be coming out.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah,
so check that out because I'll tell you all why Kenny Galladay's just going to be great in top 10. There we go, Galladay. So how'd you round out then? What 8, 9, 10?
8, 9, 10. We're looking at Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks.
Okay. Cooks is 11 for me. Yeah. He should get. No Cooper Kupp most likely, so he should do well. He's 11, then Diggs 12. Yeah, I have to. Thielen's better than Diggs at this point. I thought it would be Diggs this year, but Thielen's just proven too steady.
Okay,
not like Diggs is bad. It's just Thielen's great.
Right. Here, I have a few. I'm just going to rattle them off. See where you have them. Just interesting wide receivers to play. Josh Gordon.
Let's see here. Josh Gordon actually jumped up to 23 for me this week. Starting to think he's getting a little bit more and more involved, and I could see it just changing here quick. I don't know about Chicago's pass defense, so we'll see.
Right, kind of all over the place. Another one is Allen Robinson.
19th. Matchup's okay, and I don't know what to do with wide receivers after about 15, 16.
Yeah, right. And lastly, since we have kind of hyped him up a little bit in the waiver section, he's been doing very well. Your boy, Taylor Gabriel.
I put him 30th this week.
All right.
He's up to 30th. He just gets targets. He's been doing well. We were talking about him 3-4 weeks ago, even before the explosion that he had that 1 week. And actually, he's had 2 good weeks in a row now. So I think he's pretty solid player to use. Don't necessarily go expect what he's done the last 2 weeks. I'm not saying that. But if you just need a player you're going to plug in and he's going to get targets and get some catches, I think Taylor Gabriel's that player, especially in,
PPR.
And he really is. He's solid, especially in all these bye weeks too. 4 teams gone this week. So Taylor Gabriel definitely can be a third wide receiver option, possibly a flex, depending on what you need. But I like it. I don't like anything else after that. I don't like anything else before that. I just, because it's not even like I don't like it. It's just everyone is so, especially these wide receivers. These wide receivers are so close from almost like 20 to 40, really. They're just so, any 1 week, they have a couple good weeks and that guy jumps up, the other guy drops down. It's just you don't know what to expect and what they're going to do. It's just there's a lot of good receivers. There's a lot of really good receivers in the NFL now, and so they're all just kind of taken away from each other. Yeah, and I can guess week to week. Like you can try to figure out what the weather's going to do, what the opponent, if they're going to game plan for them, all that kind of stuff that may hinder or help them score week to week. But also if you're playing it and you have, good players, this is also why you kind of plug and play because you get the average of their scores, and usually the good players will come out ahead, and it's very difficult to, out-strategize something like that. So I think especially when you get to this point, it's best not to get overly cute with it. Yep. I'm looking at some of these players down here again, trying to see. Sammy Watkins was. I'll just look at it. Sammy Watkins. I mean, is he dead to you after last week?
don't even start with me. No, I gave him the pay. I mean, I put him at 25.
Oh, I put him 32nd.
Yeah, I'm not over him. Everyone has down weeks. It was brutal. It was a bad one for me. I like how I didn't even mean to, but my voice got like louder because the little bit of that anger escaped. She took my Lakers tickets.
How about let's move over to tight end, finish this up. Not as much to talk about here, like always. But I did make some. I think I made some more. I moved some stuff around finally a little bit. Not the top, though.
I think the top 5. Let me guess, because I think the top 5 are almost set in stone.
You top 4, maybe.
Okay, here. This is. Oh, I bet you have the. Okay, let me just go top 5. What I have, and I bet yours are almost exactly the same, except maybe you switched. And I'll say Njoku number 5. That's my
very
guess.
possible.
Okay, yeah. So Kelsey, Gronk, Ertz, Kittle, Ebron. But you have Njoku.
Kelsey, Gronk, Ertz, Kittle, Njoku.
I knew it.
With Ebron 6, which still pains me.
Round out your top 10 because this week I feel like it's the first time where I start going. You know, you can't go completely on how they've been in the past. You really do have to look the last couple of weeks in this year.
So I put Ebron was 6. I jumped OJ Howard to 7. I put Greg Olsen 8. Austin Hooper came in 9 for me, and then Trey Burton's 10.
And this is what I was actually looking for because that is very close to mine. I own Greg Olsen. I have him number 10 because I'm still a little worried about that foot. But same thing. I have Njoku number 6, Howard, Hooper, Burton, and then Greg Olsen. But notice how Jordan Reed is no longer in our top 10.
You know, and we actually, from consensus, we moved a couple of those guys up than other people. Like, I think we moved Howard up, Hooper up, Olsen up, and like Reed and Rudolph down. And Jordan Reed, I thought he was going to do more than this, and he hasn't. Kyle Rudolph, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think
he hasn't done anything.
Why just keep plugging those guys in the top 10? They don't need to.
I'll be completely honest, too. Even Trey Burton is on thin ice with me.
I think the New England matchup makes me a little more interested.
Yeah.
New England hasn't been great. They've been in some shootouts.
2 of his touchdowns have come from like that pitch.
Yeah, that little shovel pass.
How many times can you do that?
And then, I mean, OJ Howard came back from injury and got a touchdown, right? And just I think he's really good. And Austin Hooper's done it a couple weeks in a row. 9
catches in 2 weeks in a row. That's huge for a tight end.
Well, and then I'll just say Njoku at 5, who has a great matchup. Plus, every single week he gets a little bit better. And the targets they had 12 targets, I think, last week. He's just getting better and better and better and better. And I'm excited about it because I'm a Njoku owner. So it's really exciting me because I just see the targets increasing and just
against Tampa Bay.
Touchdown.
Doesn't it seem like the prime time for him to break out
right now? Thinking about it, I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
The other guys, just 2 more guys I kind of want to rattle off that I'm very interested in. They're ranked relatively high. I have CJ Uzomah, number 12, going against KC. He's in Cincinnati. Croft is hurt. Eifert is out. He's the only guy in town. He's looked pretty good. So I like him. And then Ricky Seals-Jones. I know he hasn't put together a full game yet. And I'm kind of waiting for it. And because tight end is so shallow, he's kind of on my radar.
I put I put those guys actually 13 and 14.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep. So I think they're pretty solid. Where were they for? So 12
and 14.
Okay. So, yep. So what, you got like Rudolph 13?
I do. I have Rudolph 13. I have Jordan Reed hanging out at number 11.
Yeah, me too.
But I could easily put Uzomah. Am I saying that right? I don't even know.
Uzomah? Yeah. I think that's
Uzomah,
right. Sounds right.
Above Jordan Reed, honestly. I would have no issue with that.
And one of the players that could make an appearance higher is, depending on what his injury situation is, going to be Evan Ingram. We just got to wait and see.
I have him at 18, but I'm just waiting in the wings to
I threw him at 16, but that's just because it's just kind of it's a wait and see. He's not going to move he's not going to move way up though either. He's going to probably move.
He'd probably go number 11 for me.
Yeah, he's somewhere around there because the matchup should be pretty solid.
Above Jordan Reed, below Greg Olsen.
Yeah, just we have to wait and see, and that's a Monday night game, so you don't really want to wait for him.
Yeah, which makes it difficult.
Which I don't want to rank him higher just because of that. I don't want people to throw him in their lineup because they see our rank was higher and then wait, he doesn't play. So, blame us. I don't want that. So, yeah. All right.
Allison.
I think that's going to do it for ranks for this week. We'll be back tomorrow with some of your questions, some listener questions, and different trade questions, flex questions, and we'll hit up point spreads, which hasn't been a great 2 weeks for us. We'll improve. We'll get better. But we'll do that. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.